Are we talking about a cultural revolution as the individual and cultural implications of brain activity training? Yeah. History of the 4 big cultural revolutions. Agricultural revolution was the first wave. Gradually increasing numbers of people worked in agriculture. Then came the second wave, the Industrial Revolution. In about 1900, the number of people working in industry crossed the number of people working in agriculture. It was doubling about every 14 years. Then the information processing revolution came along around 1975 and crossed the industrial curve in terms of number of people. And the next 4th wave, even the VC people are talking about it, is the consciousness processing revolution. People involved with the development of their mind, enhancing human gifts and abilities. The more you align with the thrust of evolution toward higher consciousness, the easier you will find your success coming to you. Even seemingly impossible things will become easy. We can reverse aging, we can enhance creativity 50% in 1 week, we can raise IQ 11.7 points in a week, we can have beneficial personality changes, there are advanced spiritual states. The brainwaves of people who see angels are known. If somebody walks in and they have those brainwaves, they see astral plane beings. This happened even with one of the Green Berets. While I was building the facility, they were off on a meditation retreat, although retreat's a bad word in the military, so it was called an encampment. Before I sent them off on that, I used a portable unit to measure their brainwaves. And one of the 24 Green Berets had the pattern that I recognize associated with seeing angels or astral plane beings. So I had a private interview with each one, and this tough guy, many people would say skinhead killer dude, sitting across the table from me, and I look at him, I look at the numbers, and I say, do you talk to beings that other people don't see? And it was like I hit him with a 4x4. He went back, almost tipped over his chair, he's hyperventilating, he's looking around like, did anybody hear that? And then in a whisper, he said, yes, I have this old martial arts spirit guide who shows up and coaches me in my martial arts training, and I've only told my best buddy on pain of death if he would ever tell anybody. So these things are known. Remember I said, any experience you have as a living human being, you have only when you have the appropriate pattern of brainwaves. What are the action steps? How do we generate, create, awaken, and sustain your success mind? Answer, Biocybernautics Alpha 1 brainwave training program. It's neurofeedback, the Alpha 1 training. An amazingly powerful method, a 7-day, 100-hour Biocybernautics training EEG feedback program called Alpha 1. 100 hours in 7 days, not much time to go dancing every night. Using brain training technology and methods so unique they're patented, people go on an inner voyage, the Biocybernaut adventure, of rapid personal growth and ethical cleansing that dissolves negative emotions, raises creativity and IQ, and awakens people into higher consciousness and spiritual awareness, even seeing angels and having out-of-body experiences. In Alpha 1, you change your mind, you forgive deeply, and you transform your sadness, anger, and fear into love and joy. Forgiveness is a key part of it. Many spiritual traditions preach non-attachment. They don't realize you have to forgive first. When you forgive, the energy and the itch deep inside that fuels distractions and internal dialogues and lack of success are removed. Then, after healing yourself, you link your brain with others in shared feedback, and you begin to create the global mind and global brain, shared alpha feedback. You link your brain with others and begin to create the global brain and global mind. Imagine the power of a company team that is totally aligned in their purpose and on the same wavelength and working toward that purpose is this shared alpha feedback. U.S. Army Intelligence Officer, Lieutenant Colonel John Alexander, did 2 weeks of brainwave training with another Lieutenant Colonel from Army Intelligence. And then he wrote a book called The Warrior's Edge, in which he revealed that in the Biocybernaut Alpha 1 shared caused secrets to slip between him and another Army Intelligence officer who was doing shared feedback with them. They wouldn't allow me to do shared feedback with them because they had high security clearances, and I had none. It's only one of the interesting and useful mind powers that develop with the Biocybernaut brainwave training programs that teach you how to merge your awareness more deeply with yourself and how to merge your awareness with others. Joy is the most infallible sign of the indwelling of the spirit. Brain School, Biocybernaut Institute's Brain School programs produce transformation and optimal function by increasing your alpha EEG. Here's a couple of pictures of people wired up and in the chamber. And then just a couple of pictures. One of the things we do is we make hyperdimensional maps of the relationship between brain states, the electrophysiological correlates, and mind states. And so we can actually image different states: anxiety, happiness, joy, power, contentment. Thank you.
Told you to blow your mind. We have time for maybe one question.
Where do I sign up?
So you can sign up on Biocybernautics, and pretty soon I'll be having these up on the upgrade itself as well, just so people can get access to it. How many of you have heard of Biocybernautics before this conference? Before listening, hearing it from me? Right, none of you, right? So this is the kind of stuff that's been out there. Dr. Hardt's a humble man. He was a tenured faculty member at a large university in California and has an incredibly rich academic background before I went into this, and has, a lifetime of studying brainwaves. So this is not BS. There's a reason that the US military did this. There's a reason that those lieutenant colonels didn't write about that until they were retired from the military. But I guess I'll just put it really bluntly. This shit is real. I've done it. There's a reason that I've been there 2 times, actually 3 times. And there's a reason that I keep going. There's a reason I send my family members there. The first time I went, I read Dr. Hardt's book, and I warn you right now, that book is not $25. That book is $15,000. Because you're going to buy the book and you're going to go, I have to do this. That's what I did. I went out, and I have $15,000 on my Discover card. I literally charged it. And I'm like, I'll pay it off. And the way I did it, as I said, it's going to take an hour a day of Zen meditation for 20 years to do this. So $15,000 divided by the number of hours works out to like 12 cents an hour or something. Since I make more than 12 cents an hour, it was an obvious move to do this. And spiritual awakening. What I'm interested in here is 12 IQ points. And yeah, I might have actually figured out a lot of emotional stuff I had no knowledge of. But what I didn't understand was that the way I would get the 12 IQ points was that when I walked away from there, that voice in my head that would be like, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, there's something wrong with that. The thing that everyone has, it basically learned to shut up the vast majority of the time. And when it stops distracting you, your IQ goes up. Like, you have all this potential and you're stopping yourself. And this is like the Rolls Royce way to get out of your way. So I would honestly say it's, in terms of the single most effective thing of all the crazy stuff I've done, this might be it. Although I gotta say, eating enough healthy fat might be up there as well. If you don't get fat into your brain, it's hard to train your brain because your prefrontal cortex is starving. And starvation really does activate the brainstem and the parts of you that are about survival. This is about thriving, not about survival, but it enhances survival too. So thanks, Dr. Hardt.
Hey Dave, do you see angels?
So I see angels, you're looking pretty good.